and Save Us and Life of Worship are part of his U.S. debut CD. It's not here yet. It's coming this spring. Forevermore, John's latest effort in a stellar musical career, Life of Worship. John, come on in here and let's catch up with you.
Thanks,
We want to get you just as warmed up as possible because I hear you're actually heading back to your hometown where it will be what on Thursday?
I read on my iPhone it's going to be minus 36.
What will feel like?
Maybe minus 50.
Oh dear.
It's the best place to live, you know?
But you're used to it.
I am. You have to get used to it when you live in Canada. Well, certain places in Canada.
Certain places in Canada. Congratulations to you. Some of those songs, I think both of those songs will be familiar to some people.
Yeah.
Your previous CD, Light of Another World. And before that, I just really have to mention your Giver of Grace Kids Worship, award-winning. And I love that this is dedicated to Emerson.
Yes.
Your son who is 3.
Yes, that's right.
It says, may you grow up to love Jesus with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And may these songs help you and others your age to connect with Jesus.
That's our prayer. That's our prayer. And yeah, I'm working on a second kid CD right now, dedicated now to our daughter, who is just turned 1, and our son. So,
how do you say her name?
Avalyn.
Avalyn. I wasn't sure if it was Avalyn.
Right.
Avalyn.
Right.
So pretty.
Oh,
and I mentioned off the top of the show, really, 2009, 2010, 275 or so concerts.
Right.
But the good news is, this is a family affair.
It is. It is. I'm so privileged to be able to serve on the road with my just amazing, beautiful wife, Andrea, and now our 2 little ones. And so, yeah, most of the dates that I'm on, we'll travel together as a family, either by plane or on the road. And it's just a privilege to be able to minister together.
What an adventure.
It is. It is.
What I love about your story is this is not at all what you expected. You were going to university, preparing to be a teacher, and in fact, 3 years an elementary school teacher?
That's right, I did. I did become a teacher, yes. And yeah, 2 things that were never on my radar when I was young was music and teaching. And when I was 18, my sister gave me a CD, said, John, listen to this on the way to school. And so I put it in the car as I was driving to school. And as I started to sing along, it was a worship CD. And back in those days, when you go to the Christian bookstore, worship CDs were few and far between. They just weren't, you know, a popular choice back then. And as I started to listen to this CD as I was driving and started to sing along and worship as I drove, the Spirit of the Lord fell in the car as I was driving. And I remember tearing up just as I experienced the Spirit of God resting in the car as I was driving and singing. And the Lord just whispered to my heart that day, John, up until this point, music hasn't been on your radar, has never been a passion. But I'm going to place a passion in your heart to sing as you hear this man leading worship on this album. And I have something like this for you to do in the coming days, to lead in worship. And I had no idea what that was, but I knew that the Lord was faithful. And so that was the start of this journey.
And that was such an encounter. You had to pull off the road, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know, this happens to people.
It was profound. Yeah.
God shows up and
it was amazing.
Rocks your world.
He does. And I just pray that the listeners, the viewers, pray for those encounters, because the Lord is...
He has a plan.
He has an amazing plan that we have no idea about, but His plans are so much better than our own.
And didn't you have some music preparation in your journey?
I did.
You'd taken piano.
When I was just a young guy, I was highly recommended to take piano by my parents, and sure didn't want to back in those days. And also highly encouraged to sing in the church musicals. And so the Lord had used that training earlier on, even though it was not something I liked at the time, but I went through it. And He used that as just a training ground and equipping for the ministry that I'm doing today. And secondly, as I said earlier, music and teaching. I come from a long line of teachers, and I always said I would never become a teacher. But the Lord used my teaching experience in the classroom now for me as an artist on the road to minister to teachers and students, and also now train and equip worship leaders as I go and speak at conferences along the way. So yeah, God's plans are so much better than our own, and
He just knows what He's doing.
It's funny how that
works. It all weaves together.
Very true.
And there's another milestone, another very poignant moment in your journey, and I love this because you were watching TV.
Yeah.
God interrupted your TV watching.
It's funny how he does
Do it
that.
again, Lord.
Yes,
Do it again.
yes. I came home from a long day of school, sat down, was starting to watch TV, and the Lord just whispered to my heart that day, John, don't watch. I just want to spend some time with you. And so I went into another room of the house and I sat down in front of the piano in silence for a number of minutes. And then my hands went to the keys of the piano. And I did something that day I had never done before. And I started to pray a song out to Jesus. And from my heart I said, Jesus, may my life be my worship. And my life, may that be my song. And then he answered back when I had prayed that to him. He said, John, did you worship me today? On Monday? I heard you yesterday at church, but how about today? And he just showed these images very vividly of the things that I had said, the things that I had done that day, like driving my car, not letting someone in front of me, walking down the street when his Spirit was asking me to say hi to a stranger. I didn't say hi. And what the Lord said to me that day is, John, I love it when you sing your worship out to me. I love it when you pray your worship. But I love it even more when my Spirit speaks to you throughout the day, and when you respond in those simple moments, that is worship far greater anything than what you can just sing to me.
That's Jesus living through you.
It's Jesus living through us, absolutely. And so that was the start of ministry, in the sense that is what the Lord has called me to, and reminding me each day to live out my worship. And now as I go in and sing and minister, encouraging churches and students and people of all ages to live out their worship, to represent Jesus to this world, because this world doesn't need just another person. They need to see Jesus each and every day in us.
And you don't even need to play an instrument to
Absolutely.
live a life of worship.
Absolutely not.
Wonderful. No wonder your smile is so real and engaging. Pastor Tim Schroeder, he said, that's your hallmark. He said, wherever he is, wherever I see him, if it's a conference, he's in my church, that smile just lifts us all into God's praise. It comes from a heart that's there all the time.
Amen.
Well, I hope we be good learners as we listen to what you've written from your heart. And this is still available, Light of Another World.
It is. It is.
And the one we're watching for, what, March, April?
There hasn't been a release date yet, so it's still in process. But
It's
spring 2011.
Spring 2011,
Yeah.
forevermore. John Bauer. Again, congratulations, and
Thanks, Moira.
just give that sister a hug.
I
think you
will.
need to give that sister a hug from
I
all
owe
of
a lot
us.
to her. She's the greatest sister in the world.
The power of a CD changed your life,
It did. It did change the course of my life.
and maybe John's can change yours. Well, thank you, John.
Thanks, Moira.
Take a little heat with you as you go.